A lot of realtors are walking this way, and I'm just going to ask if they know how to house homeless veterans. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
No,
No.
Okay.
I sadly do not.
I do not, but I would love to learn.
I do not.
I do not, but I would like to know how.
The answer to that is no.
No. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
I do not.
I do not.
Do you know how to house a homeless veteran?
He's a veteran and he would be
Come
homeless
here.
if I did not house.
Okay. We're here at the Capitol, Illinois State Capitol. This is the lobby day for realtors. And I did make an announcement on the bus about my 3-hour course that I wrote to teach realtors how to work effectively with a homeless veteran. Just because the veteran is homeless doesn't mean they don't have resources to use to get housed or to get anything else they need, because they do. But how do you get to those resources to help that homeless veteran get housed? I've got the class, and it'll be out soon. All right, now my mic is on. To stage. I apologize, but I don't see. Let me just. Boots on the ground, homeless veterans housing. Oh, there is a delay. I can't. This is not. I can't. Add to stage. Can you see me now? Yes, it is black screen. Can you see me now? Because it says I'm on the screen, but I just can't see myself. And thanks for doing that. I'm currently trying to start independent ILF. I need some guidance, looking to help. Okay, so ILF, that is a trademark by the Forstrom Group. I have a book in my bio that you can go to and purchase the book. This is the book specifically for veterans. It is Innovative Housing Solutions. Let me turn this around so you can read it properly. Innovative Housing Solutions, a guide to veteran shared housing. So go grab this book. It's in my bio. Okay, that's the book you need. And then I'm always here. I'm here Monday through Friday at 5:15 Central. And also, I'm just not sure where to find the. Okay, well, that's all in the book. That's all in the book. You got to read. Everything's covered. And I also have a private group as well. So start there. Start reading first and learning. So, well, can you see me? Dang. Well, anyway, I'm going to keep talking. If you all can see me on YouTube, let me know. I can't see myself. Okay, great. So I'm here. I don't even know how I look in the in the light. Oh my God, my heart is heavy, but it's still very, very hopeful. And I'll tell you why it's heavy, and then I'm going to tell you why it's very, oh, thank you so much. Then I'll tell you why it's very hopeful. I'm a very emotional person. That's just me by nature. I don't like to see people suffer. I don't like to see animals suffer. I don't like to see anything suffer. And especially, in that same suffering, I don't like to see, hey, Jacob, that's my brother in Ghana who just logged on. I don't like to see right here homeless veterans suffer. And I also I'm going to start talking about my other books too. I have an international book series that show our families in Ghana and Uganda, how they're living and how we can help so much in what we do here to help them. And we have authored their books so that you guys can go again to Amazon and also in my link tree to purchase those books, because those proceeds go directly to them. One of them is taking care of 50 children who are orphaned and or abandoned. And he's got 50. And I was wondering, why do you have so many kids? I never heard of such a thing. Those are a lot of people. And that's when I discovered, he told me that they were orphaned and abandoned. So his book, his story is in a book, and that's on Amazon in my bookstore as well. Thanks for sharing. And tap that screen. I need some taps. And then I have another book, Salaga, and the largest slave trade in Ghana. And that book just hit me so hard. I visited the place, and I left again with the heavy heart, but still a hopeful heart. And that's why that book came out. And then another book, Uganda, of how they raise and share animals, livestock, so that the families can survive. And that's another amazing book. Now, I didn't visit Uganda, but those books, those authors, those Africans really intrigued me. And that's why I said, yeah, I know I write about, veteran stuff. And I also have 2 children books that I'm going to re-release maybe around Christmas time or something like that. So yeah, but today we're talking about the suffering of homeless veterans, and not just any homeless veteran. I'm talking about homeless veterans who have housing vouchers, and how, let me grab that book so I can have that on stage as well. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Yvette Jones Swanson, and I am an Army veteran, and I am now the CEO of my companies, which is VetMentors and also VetMentors Publishing. And I'm also a realtor, but not just any realtor. I am a veterans realtor. And I've been a realtor for 29 years. And I have been a veterans realtor for over 22 years. And not just any veterans realtor, but homeless veterans realtor. And you know, my colleagues always ask me, Eva, how do you get paid housing homeless anybody? So I did try to teach them. I wrote a class back in 2014, 2015. I taught it for a couple years, almost 3 years. And it was a lot of pushback because as a realtor, you know, the way we work is we have to sell something. We have to help somebody buy something. We help those people rent something. And that's how we get paid. We get paid commissions for helping people move, helping them sell, helping them buy, helping them rent, helping them flip. You know, that's what we do. And then we have realtors who specialize in certain areas. Some may specialize in commercial real estate. Some may specialize in luxury real estate. Some may specialize in Gen X or Gen Z, or, you know, whatever. We have that choice as realtors. We can't do everything for everybody. So it's best to choose who you're going to service. And as a realtor, I chose over 22 years ago to house homeless veterans as a realtor. And I have been earning commissions and getting awards and things and teaching about it for over 22 years. And I've housed over 5,000 homeless veterans. I've trained 3 teams, about 50 agents. Some stayed, and I only see, truthfully, I see Andrew from time to time. I don't see him a lot housing homeless veterans. I see Jamila. I know she moved to a different city, different state, but I see you out there, girl, showing properties. I'm proud of you. And that's basically it, who I see on the out of the 50 agents that I trained over the years. Because housing homeless veterans isn't a quick, rich way of housing. Oh, believe me, you can make a lot of money. I've made a 6-figure income housing homeless veterans as a realtor. Those were my commissions. So there, when you learn how to house homeless veterans, and I'm going to keep on saying homeless veterans because they are, and that may come up in the conversation when you're working with your investors, when you're trying to help a homeless veteran find housing. It's come up in our search just today our veteran in Charlottesville, Virginia. She's still homeless with her caregiver. She has a 2-bedroom housing choice voucher. And that's part of veterans benefits. It's part of our resources, just like our health benefits and our vision benefits and chiropractor. We can go out in the community and that's called community care. Those are our benefits. So we have a ton of benefits that we have access to. And for homeless veterans, those benefits is housing. And a veteran who has a housing choice voucher, HUD-VASH voucher, or who has a utilizing other resources in the community through these organizations. Hold on, let me grab it. So this is your voucher that veterans can use. This is for Chicago. This is the housing voucher that veterans can use for housing. And veterans also, this is for homeless veterans and veterans who are at risk of being homeless. This is a little over $900 million that is in our communities right now with 411 organizations right here. Now, why is this so important? Well, because these are the benefits that our homeless veterans can use. So you ask, Yvette, well, what's stopping them from using it? So a veteran with a housing choice voucher with HUD-VASH, this is a Section 8 voucher for veterans. I mean, that's the category under HUD, okay? This is the Chicago housing choice voucher moving papers. And there's a section in here that we can, I don't have all the pages in here, but there's a checkbox that you can check that'll say is HUD-VASH. So now I've got veterans all across the country with this voucher right here, right? From HUD, a HUD-VASH voucher, who can't even use that voucher on housing. But you're saying, Yvette, didn't you just say that's one of the homeless veterans benefits? Yeah, I did, didn't I? It is. And they have this voucher in their hand, ready to just give it to an investor. And in 7 weeks, they can move in if the first inspection passes, and if the investor passes those background checks that he or she have to go through as well. So why are these veterans still homeless and they have housing benefits? That's why my heart is heavy. Well, it's because realtors don't know how to house homeless veterans. That's it. Realtors don't know how to use the funding that's in our communities. And you might say, Yvette, I'm a realtor and I know how to use a voucher. All right, well, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those realtors who don't know how. Those management companies who impose so many barriers that are keeping our homeless veterans out of housing because of all of those barriers. Well, they have this voucher for a 2-bedroom. One of my investors just contacted me today. He said, Yvette, hey, remember, I still have this 2-bedroom available and it's ready to be shown. I'm like, oh, snap. Let me get that flyer on over to you so I can send you what's about to go out tomorrow. And it'll be rented tomorrow. It's a 2-bedroom for $2,100. And I'm not going to see any other realtor about it either. No, I'm going straight to the veterans, straight to the organizations that I know have veterans with the voucher looking for a 2-bedroom apartment. And my commission is going to be $2,100. You want to know how or why? Because I'm a realtor and the investor has already said yes to the voucher, especially to homeless veterans with a HUD-VASH voucher. No. He doesn't want a credit check. He doesn't want a background check. He doesn't want an eviction check. All he wants is to give somebody a chance to get back on their feet so that they can continue living a decent life with the roof over their heads, with furniture in their apartment, with hot water to go and take a shower or a hot soaking bath in, food in the refrigerator, getting on the bus and the train, or if they had a car or have a car where they were sleeping before they got housed, like my veterans in Charlottesville, Virginia, and New York City, with vouchers in their hands and realtors saying, well, we got to do a credit check, a background check, an eviction check, a prior landlord check, and we need 2 references to check. And my investor told me we need to come and see where you live in. The first check was already a denial. I'm located in Illinois, but I am nationwide. My company, VetMentors LLC, is SBA certified and VA verified as a government contractor. But what I do as a realtor and an instructor and an educator and an advocate, I bring that to the people. I'm bringing it to all of you. So I've been housing homeless veterans for 22 years as a realtor. And these are the books that I wrote to teach you how to do what I do. 22 years, and it's so much to learn. You say you want to house homeless veterans, you can do that. Some of the comments were filtered with something. Okay. So this book and all of my book titles are really descriptions of what's in the book. So you can't go wrong. If you're a realtor, this is the book you need right here, A Realtor's Blueprint. It walks you through what I do for the past 22 plus years. You say you want to house homeless veterans and you want to provide the housing and transitional housing, or just read the book, because I've got several models in this book that you can choose from, and you have the steps to do it in this book. And I'm also the publisher of my publications. This is all of my stuff that I've been doing over all of these years. I used to train social workers and case managers how to work effectively in our community, working directly with investors, property managers, private owners, management companies, and other social service agencies. I trained them, and now that training is in this book, because they still need to know how to house homeless veterans instead of letting them walk out the door like they did Mr. Wilson, and he had to go live in a U-Haul facility for 11 months in his wheelchair. Like they did Mrs. Watkins, 75-year-old homeless female veteran, 2 times had to walk out of Jesse Brown VA homeless twice because the social workers didn't know how to house them. So this book teaches you how to do that. And for those who say, oh, we shouldn't have homeless veterans, well, learn how to house them, learn how to help them get their resources, and get this book, Finding Home, that teaches you how to help them. This book is coming out, and I still have to update my cover. I do the sick and shut in, the immobile notarization. So these are people, veterans. That's where I started, at the nursing home, because there was a guy there who I went to see, and he needed a notary for his disability check that he was getting from another country. And this notarization was to say that, oh yeah, I saw him and he signed this form and he's still alive, so his checks could keep coming. So I did that for many, many years because he couldn't leave the nursing home. Then I said, hey, you have veterans in here too? You got a bunch of veterans on the wall. She said, yes. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm a veteran too. And I would love to come back for everybody's notarization. So that's how I became a notarization for the sick and the shut in at different nursing homes and hospitals. That's a whole nother story. This veteran who was in a hospital, and his family contacted me to come do a notarization. I forget what the notarization was for. Then I said, oh, he's going to need this too, and I can't do that. He needs an attorney to draw that up immediately. So I contacted one of my attorneys who I know will leave and come to the place. And he did whatever it is he had to do with him. And this was attorney Mario Reed out of Illinois, South Holland, Illinois. And he went and did whatever he had to do to get this veteran's documentation signed and notarized and submitted to wherever it had to go legally. And you know, we did what we did just in time because he passed away that Monday. And everything that needed to be done was done. That's what I do for the sick and the shut in as a notary. And this book teaches you how to do that once I'm finished. And then, hold on a second. All right, so you say you have, hey, Mel, thanks for joining tonight. So you say, I'm a CNA, I'm a nurse, I want to do veterans care as a licensed facility, then this is the book you got to get. So even if you are not in Georgia, I teach you how to use AI in all of my books. So if you've never used AI, ChatGPT, I teach you how to do that too. So you can swap out Atlanta, Georgia, and put in your city, your state. Oh, I love this book, Veterans from Boost to Business, Finding Your Passion in Business and AI. So I've been housing homeless veterans, again, for over 22 plus consecutive years, except when I was down and out, had a heart attack. I was still housing homeless veterans from the hospital bed. I was negotiating a sale and we closed. I have a 5-bedroom, fully finished Stone Mountain, Georgia, waiting for clients. Can you help me? Of course I can. Hold on a second. I can help you by guiding you to my book so you can help yourself. I teach you where to go so you can find those clients. And also, you buy the book. I also join. You can also be a part of my group where I show you where these organizations are, because it's not just the VA going to see these social workers. These are 411 organizations. Thanks for joining my club. These are 411 organizations that the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs gave over $900 million in grants to. So this is information that I share with my group as well. But you got to buy a book, read the book, get some real education on veterans housing. Because a lot of people just think, oh, I'm just going to open a house and it's going to be real easy finding these veterans and getting paid every day. This is a business you're about to run. You've got marketing, you've got customer service, you have conflict resolution, you have billing, you have, let me see, oh my God, standard operating procedures, you have contracts, you have a lot. And I hope you have all of that set up. But if you don't, just go to the bio and go grab this book, because it'll help you do all of that. Oh, I want to thank you all for being here. I'm going to end this session over on, I had forgot that I was on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. But I want to thank y'all for being here. But let me go back to the reason to what happened today, boots on the ground. But yeah, that's a whole business. So who asked me about that? Can you help me, Stella? Stella. Yeah, but Stella, go on to my bio and grab that book. That's how I help you, my dear. Learn this business. It's a lot. It's a lot. I didn't even show y'all my awards. And then please follow me. Tonight, I have a special treat. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I didn't want to drop it before the network dropped it. So they sent me, I wanted to start. Hey, Amina. I had one of my agents was named Amina. Thanks for following me, Tessa. Tessa, I like that name. Business opportunities in Vegas are beautiful. Yes, y'all have a whole lot of homeless vets there. I said if I ever was homeless, I would want to be in Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas, but I don't want to be homeless any place, anywhere, anymore. I was a homeless female veteran in 1985 to 1993 in a battered and abusive relationship marriage by the hands of my then actively serving Marine husband. So when I became a realtor, I'm like, look, I know what all y'all need. I know how to get out of this, how to get out of that, how to get over here, how to get over here, how to get out of this. Let's go on back over here and pick this back up. So that's why I know, hold on, all of this stuff, because I walked those rough, rocky roads. So, all right. So I want to thank y'all over here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook for turning. Oh, wait, I still didn't tell y'all what's happening today. All right, let me tell y'all what's happening today, and then I'm going to get off for sure. And I have on my jersey from my church, New Faith Baptist Church International, right here in the Matteson, Illinois area, Matteson, where my pastor is Dr. Trinell D. Felder, and he is absolutely amazing, a true man of God. And when at the beginning of this broadcast, I said my heart was heavy and also hopeful. The reason my heart is heavy is because we still have homeless veterans, and people are walking over them. And realtors, hold on, let me get my realtor book, okay? Realtors are leaving money in the alley. They're leaving money in the U-Haul facilities. They're leaving money in the parks. They're leaving money on somebody's couch or in their truck because that veteran says they're homeless, but they have moving papers. And those moving papers, I'm about to submit to go get a veteran tomorrow and submit moving papers for $2,100 and make a commission of $2,100 as a realtor, because I'm about to house a homeless veteran with a voucher. And that's what I teach you in this book right here. For those of you who have or who want to open a transitional shared living model, and you're like, where do I get the veterans from? They're all over the place. Money is plentiful to house these homeless veterans. It's over $900 million in our community. But you're like, can you, how you do that? Where'd I go? Can you help me? I'm helping you right here. Go get the book. Go get the book. God told me when I had a stroke, he told me, he said, Yvette, you need to get the word out. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. But hope does not bring a change. What brings a change is you doing. And this is what I've done. When God told me to get the information out, how have you been housing homeless veterans for 22 years and nobody knows how to do it like you? I've housed over 5,000 homeless veterans and getting awards from everywhere from the senators, from the state reps, from the real estate organizations, from, I can show y'all better than I can tell you. Here's an award right here from Main Street Organization of Realtors for 2025, from the president of Main Street Organizations of Realtors, thanking me for outstanding service, dedication, time so generously given to Main Street Realtors. I'm not through with the realtors yet because they need to learn. Wait a minute. They need to learn what I know as a realtor. And then for 2025, I received this award from the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs. Illinois Women Veteran Leaders of 2025 honors me, Yvette Jones Swanson, for what? For your continued service and dedication to the Illinois veterans community. I house homeless veterans and teach others how to do the same. You want to learn what I know, you want to do and house homeless veterans, then get my publications and learn. It's no secret anymore. I am not gatekeeping anything. I'm not gatekeeping anything. And if that was me for all those years, I apologize, but really I don't, because when I wrote the class, I had realtors come to my class, get the education, and turn their nose up at voucher holders. And that's their commission. That's their commission. I want 6 veterans without a license. Okay. So you don't have to have a license. You have a veteran's home or you want to create one. Here's the book. I'm not having any classes right now. I'm putting together my master classes, 3 of them, but I'm getting through one right now. I'm getting through the investor master class. I have so much more respect. Well, not that I didn't have respect for people who are doing master classes, but the master classes that I have seen, the ones that were really top tier, yes, that's the one. Those are the ones I have so much respect for. I've taken people's master classes because as an educator myself, I've been a college educator for University of Phoenix. I didn't like that because that was online. That's when online college first came out. I'm like, and then my neighbor was doing the college student neighbor's work, telling him what to do. And I'm like, I'm not going to be spending all my time trying to teach these people online and somebody else is doing their work for them. I need to be face to face and I need some homework back in my hand. I need some hands raised. I need some discussion. So I quit University of Phoenix. So then I started teaching for ITT Technical Institute and I absolutely loved it. I taught there for 4 years, composition 1 and 2, portfolio development, and then another like a business development class. And those students were just phenomenal. Most of them they were really into their learning. Some of them thought it was going to be a fly by night, but not at all. Not at all. We were some amazing instructors. I can tell because I know I am. So my master class is set up very, very professional and very in depth, and it will go into what you need as an investor housing veterans with the HUD-VASH voucher and other SSVF funding. That's the first master class. Yeah, traditional education. And then I'm also, I'm going to go up and read these two. I'm also a licensed real estate instructor. I've been a licensed real estate instructor since 2014. And I write my own classes and I also teach off the shelf classes for 3-hour 3-hour CE. And I've taught in ethics. I've taught in fair housing. I've taught in, I don't know, a lot of stuff over the years. when I said, okay, I'm going to go teach. I'm going to go teach. And, teaching, I enjoy it. Some agents are really into the education, and some are like, look, I just need these CEs so I can keep my license. And I think those are the ones you really need to look out for. I see all of them, and I'm like, and the good ones you can weed them out. But I don't work with, oh, wait, let me get back to why I'm here. I have my notebook open and everything. This is my newest notebook that was just released on Amazon because, as you see, I got to take notes because otherwise I'm going to be everywhere and not here. So, Charlottesville, Virginia. She has had her voucher since April 2025, a 2-bed voucher, living in a tent and their truck. She's with her caregiver. I said a 2-bed voucher, right? Okay, so she has had to have this voucher renewed 5 times. This is already November. She's had this voucher since April 2025. I met her back in, let me get my letters, because I also write congressional letters to blow the whistle on what's going on. So I received her back in August. So in August, I blew the whistle and sent congressional letters to the Congressman John J. McGuire III, and his office did respond. Congressional letters to, I need to start just putting the whole list in the front because this list has grown since then. Application after application after application, and all of the applications are coming back denied. Because every agent wants to treat homeless veterans the same as everybody else. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, because if that's your office policy, then you have to. But that's not my office policy. My investors run the show. My investors tell me how they want to rent their properties. I tell them how I need their properties to be rented. And if they say, well, Yvette, I can't do that. Well, you can't be my client. And I have had clients to tell me that in the beginning, and they were looking at other people's properties just booming out the seams because they were being filled up quickly by veterans, by homeless veterans. I have one investor, and he's in this book now, who told me flat out, no, I'm not working with the government to get wrapped, tied, and tangled with red tape. Well, now he has a letter in my book, and his letter states that he has given me access to over 400 of his units. And this letter was written back in 2012. And he had given me access to over 400 of his units back in 2010. After telling me, I'm not working with the VA, all that red tape, they're not going to be in my business. I said, oh, bless your heart. Well, if you ever change your mind, feel free to give me a call back. And he did. And now he's got a letter in the book from 2012. So I contacted him last week. I said, look, I need an updated letter. So he said, okay, Vet, because he's still one of my favorites. And this is now 2025. So the mind just has to change from the ordinary, from the ways that you think if you are a realtor, that you think you have to rent to a veteran with the voucher, a homeless veteran, because that's who get the vouchers. you have to be a homeless veteran in order to get the voucher. And all of these homeless veterans from Charlottesville, Virginia, New York City with the 1-bedroom voucher and her service dog, homeless in her car with the voucher, and Savannah, Georgia, homeless female veteran with not the best credit score, but her income is phenomenal. She's 100% service connected disabled veteran, meaning she gets a full check every month, over $3,000 a month. But because these veterans don't have A1 credit and maybe a minor infraction, or can't supply a former, or can supply a former landlord, but got evicted because you lost your job and you couldn't pay rent and you didn't know anything about veteran benefits for housing, so you didn't know who to go to. So now you have an eviction on your credit. So when they run your credit, oh, you not only do you have a low credit score, but you also have an eviction on your credit report. Oh, you're denied. And we're keeping your $65. Oh, but I still need housing. I still have this voucher that's going to pay my rent in full because it's part of my veteran benefits for housing. But because my credit isn't 650 or above, and I have an eviction on my credit because I lost my job, and that's when I became a homeless female veteran. I couldn't pay the rent. But when I found out about the homeless walk-in, I went in and I got approved for the intake of a HUD-VASH voucher, and now I have a voucher. You see? So I have benefits for housing. But I go to the community and I meet up with one of these realtors or property management companies, and they say, well, we got to do a credit check, a background check, an eviction check, a prior landlord check. Well, check one, I'm already denied, and I just paid you again. And I'm still homeless with a voucher. You see how that just goes around and around in perpetuity? And you ask, why do we have homeless veterans? Because you're mishandling them. If I could house over 5,000 homeless veterans, so can you. It's not rocket science. It's giving somebody a chance. That's really all it is. And it's using the benefits that they're awarded by the government that they served to protect you. But this society, in its naivety and don't want to change because of being rigid and afraid that, oh, that's a veteran homeless and something's going to happen. Well, let me tell you what can happen, because it did happen. A homeless veteran who I housed, it's been about 15 years now, stood over me after I had a near-death experience in the hospital suffering from COVID-19 pneumonia in my left lung. And I woke up from that near-death experience to a woman doctor standing over me. And that woman doctor wasn't a doctor 10 years prior to when I housed her as a homeless female veteran with a 10-year-old daughter running from an abusive relationship and evicted. And I housed her. And then 10 years later, she's standing over me, praying over me as I come back to this side of life as a doctor. That's what could happen. That's what could happen. or a veteran who is working on his PhD in divinity right now so he can go back to the jail to minister to those inmates, to the men inmates as a clergyman. He just got a job for the state of Illinois and asked me to be a reference. And I did. And now he is a clergyman with a PhD. We're working on his divinity degree, his PhD in divinity. And I housed him as a homeless veteran who, by the way, lost his job and couldn't pay his rent, so he got evicted. I can't make this up. So I got him housed. He used the community money that I showed you, that $900 million that went out for this fiscal year 2026. Well, he used that money way back when I got him housed, and he went back to corporate America. He's got an MBA in human resources and a green belt, something high up in human resources. But because he lost his job, he became homeless and had to get housed, and then got another job back in corporate America. You see how this works? So homeless veterans don't just come from a U-Haul facility or in the park. Their lives were interrupted and they became homeless. Just like me, my life was interrupted and I became homeless several times. So realtors leave money on the table because they don't know how to house homeless veterans. And housing providers leave money on the table because they don't know where these homeless veterans are or who pays for their housing. That's why I wrote these books, so you can learn. So those are my 3 homeless veterans. Oh God, Jesus. I hate saying that. I really do. It just, my knees buckled and I just got weak when I just said that. Here's a picture of me right here. I don't know if I was 18 or 19 years old, and I came home and happened to meet this Marine, and we, hit it off, and eventually, we were a couple, and then my father died and my mother moved, and that put me in a very compromising position because I was in college after leaving the military, being discharged with no benefits. So I had no money, I had nothing. And my mother moved after my daddy died to another state, and that made me either homeless or marry this dude so I can have some place to live. And he became very abusive. So I became a battered wife, and I just ran away just for my safety, for my sanity, and hoping I could land on my feet. And that happened over and over and over from 1985 to 1993, when I graduated college and got a job that paid enough for me to get a studio apartment with 2 old couches. And I told the manager, take that couch out. I'll keep that couch and sleep on that couch. But before I moved into that studio apartment, I was in my car for about 3 weeks until I got my first check. Homeless, sleeping in my car, finding places to park and getting up on time, in time to go and get cleaned up and park somewhere in the neighborhood and catch the bus or the train to go to work every day. And I stayed late. I know they were like, Yvette, she loves staying late. Why is she staying late? because I knew what I had to do. And I learned everything. I was a public information officer. I became a public information officer. But when they first hired me to work at the City of Chicago Department of Revenue in the licensing division in City Hall, oh my God, City Hall is just beautiful. I remember I walked into City Hall for the first time when I was a teenager. And I stopped in my tracks. It was so beautiful. The hallways of City Hall. I'm not talking about the county side. I'm talking about City Hall. It's like a castle. Beautiful gold trim and you could see the architecture in the walls. I mean, it's just grand. And I said, one day I'm going to work here. And I did. I worked right there, right at the entrance that I came into that door for the very first time. 107 North. Is it 107 North LaSalle? 111 North LaSalle? Something like that. And so anyway, so I worked there and I worked my way up from clerk 3, making $17,000. In 6 months, I got a desk audit, but they said, okay, you can't get the raise that fast. So my manager gave me a merit raise. And then I got another desk audit in 12 months. And that's when I got my raise from 17 to like 20 to 29. So in 1 year, I went from 17 to 29. And then year 2, I got like another raise because I got a higher position. But I ended out with, I was making a decent income and learned so much. I became the task force leader over the public place of amusement, over home repair, and my favorite SROs, single room occupancies. So I licensed over 200 of those. And I saw how poor people lived. And I'm like, dang, I could have afforded one of these working 2 part-time jobs. They were like $350 to $500 a month. And you could put your bed in there, your dresser in there. Some of them had a private bathroom. Some of them had the shared bathrooms. So I did a lot over the years. I'm going to end this stream now. Thank y'all for watching. Let me see if it.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.